This is a response to Anthony Bourdain. Now, I want to start off by saying I like the guy, though granted I haven't seen that many episodes of his shows, but what I have seen I do like. I think he's kind of rock and roll. He likes grunge, although he doesn't like the word, but he still likes the music. And he's done some stuff on Seattle, and that being like the Holy Land, it really brings you to that sense of closeness with the city and the music. And I love those episodes, and he's done stuff with Josh from Caius and Queens of the Stone Age, and I love that. He seems like kind of a cool guy overall, but I don't know him, I don't know of him that well, because I don't watch his show religiously, because I don't really have those channels anymore, but yeah, so this is not to bash him. I respect him in ways. Yes, but he has some very odd ideas about vegetarianism and veganism, and I don't know what the heck he's talking about. He says stuff like, when you're around other cultures, you need to be eating what they serve you. And so vegetarians and vegans are just like horrible, rude, whatever, because they don't eat that stuff if they are served it. And it's like, okay, either he seriously doesn't understand that it's an ethical stance, or he just compromises on all of his ethical stances when he's around people that don't share those stances. But I'm assuming the former, because I seriously doubt he eats human whenever he's around cannibals, or he would if he were, or he would just start breaking legs if he were around mafia people, or kill others if he were around hitmen, you know what I mean? So I think it's more of a misunderstanding of the whole concepts. But yeah, we do feel the same way about eating animals as we do eating humans, killing and eating them. Now, if you don't share that stance, that's fine. Just understand that this is what we believe. This is, like, we are animals, so to me, separating us by species and saying one is better than the rest is the same thing as separating us by race and saying that one is better than the rest. So because I'm equality for all, I'm equality for all animals too. So if you don't agree, fine. Just, that's how I see it, because I feel like it's hypocritical to not be so. And so I've been a vegan for almost 2 years now, vegetarian for 8 years before that, so I have a decent amount of experience, haven't eaten any meat or gelatin or animal broth or whatever in over a decade. And all that time I wanted to be vegan too, so I was always vegan minded. So I think he just really misunderstands, and he needs to, step in others' shoes and see it for what it is and what we believe. Even if you don't believe it yourself, even if you totally disagree, at least understand why, at least understand how we view things, as opposed to just being like, assuming we must be picky. That's the vibe I get from him. Like, it's just completely different from just being like, ew, I don't like carrots, I'm not going to eat your food. Like, no, it's absolutely different from something like that. It's an ethical stance just the same as refusing to be a cannibal. So he said some stuff like that, and then also acted like it's pretentious or a first world thing. Like, no, most people can't afford to eat meat the same amount that developed countries do. And veganism and vegetarianism are like ancient cultures. Third world people are like this, It's not hoity-toity at all. It's very cheap. I'm dirt poor, and I've been doing this for a decade, and, 2 years as a vegan almost. Also, the thing about food, he acts like vegans need to explore food more. And it's like, I personally, and a lot of vegans actually, only like food because I went vegan. I used to think of it as a chore. I mean, sure, it could be tasty, but it was just something that we do. I never liked food before. That came because of veganism. I've actually now considered being a chef because of veganism. I could never have thought of that before. I'm like, the one thing I was thinking of was this online course called Ruby. They do a plant-based certification course. I might actually do that. I'm not sure. I'm like considering it, but yeah, it's just like I have a passion for food now and cooking and just all sorts of different food, and I eat so many more types of food now because of veganism. I think he really needs to learn that your world expands dramatically because of this. You know, there's thousands of plants, so many things you can do with plants. There's literally a vegan version of everything. And then, of course, more stuff that is vegan that isn't meat because it's, you know, vegan. It's like salads, fruit salads, spaghetti marinara, all this stuff, you know. So there's like more choices for food. And I think he needs to put his money where his mouth is and actually bother to cook various vegan foods and travel the world, or, you know, do what he does with vegan restaurants, have vegan meals, have people cook for him vegan. I challenge him to do that because I think he just really needs to learn. So I think that was all I wanted to say. Again, this is not to bash him. I genuinely think he's totally not even thinking of what it means. I think he's totally misunderstanding it, doesn't realize it's an ethical stance, doesn't realize you can have like buttloads of food, doesn't realize you can have a better relationship with food with it. You know, like, oh my god, oh, I work in a vegan restaurant too, that helps too. Native Foods, it's pretty popular, it's a chain, it has 26 locations so far. Oh my god, it's like my favorite restaurant, the food is so good. I eat there like almost every day. Yeah, so, yeah, food is now a passion of mine because of veganism, and I really think he needs to do more in that area. You know, even if you don't want to be vegan, try it for like a couple months or something, or at least try and add in more vegan meals, because you will realize how wrong you are. Okay, thanks.